by Saidin Salkic. Well, this is a film made in the last days of 2021 and completed in 2022. It's an hour in length, so it qualifies as a feature film. But if this goes out into the international market, I wonder how many commercial interests will want to take it, because it's so, on one hand, demanding, and yet on the other hand, it's so enthralling. And this is a combination of these two extremes that very few films in the history of the cinema have ever achieved. This one does. In the opening, I won't say just the opening scenes, but the opening half of the narrative, the events, the number of people in the events are so simple. That one could write a summary of what passes in that time in a paragraph. But in the time it takes, that half of an hour approx, there's so much involvement in what's there. That is, that present tense that we, the audience, are in sharing with those characters on screen. That present tense has us so, and again I'll use that word, enthralled. Can I say us? I can say me. I was held. So few films that I've seen in a lifetime of looking in stage and screen, so few have held me so intently as this one. There was I have no words for it, that's all. Just that I was locked in there. Not that I was, what's that other word? Sometimes, of course, we can look at films where we can imagine ourselves or wish ourselves to be there. No, well, certainly not in the events of this film would I wish to be there. But it was just what shall I say? Can I say that, use this word? I'm going to. It was the reality of what I saw. And yet what I saw was presented in a style that is anything but realistic. So I'm not talking nonsense, am I? But on the other hand, of course, I'm not making sense. Perhaps I am. So this is neo-realism on one hand, but perhaps on another it's also post-logical. No, that's not right either. But it sets us off to think. And hopefully all of us, not just spread around the what do you call this place? The colony of Australia. There are a few communities scattered around that are interested in cinema, or as some of us call it, the pictures, and not many of us there. But if the rest of the public could see it, some, I think, would be drawn into it, uncritically into it. Others may perhaps find that what they are becoming involved in, enthralled by, is capturing them somehow. It's not offering anything like the pleasurable fantasy that quite a few narrative films possess. No, this is no pleasurable fantasy. That is, it's not a fantasy about pleasure. It may be that, in respect, after we have seen the film, in our attempt to recall it as best we can, to think of it then, that our admiration for how well it is made will itself create a pleasure. Oh, am I talking like a critic again, am I? Yeah, well, I've got to recommend this picture, and final thought, wasn't I lucky to be asked to be in it? Eh? Oh.